The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present. Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas, one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. And welcome to Positive Talk, everybody. My name is Kevin McDonald, and over there is a guy that I think if you're a fan of Positive Talk Radio, you know him because he's been on the show several times. His name is Tom Tikka, and he is a phenomenal artist. He is a songwriter, musician. He does it all. As a matter of fact, I'm fortunate enough that he's agreed to put together a song for me and for the show. So look for that in the future. That'll be coming. Unless, of course, you're listening to this in a year, then it will have the new opening on it. So anyway, it's just how that goes. But Tommy is here, and we've got some really exciting news that we're going to be talking about today. Tommy, how are you today?
Doing good. Hey, it's great to be back.
And you know what's going to be fun is we're going to work together on a project that is not only going to be fun to do, but it's going to be impactful to the world.
Oh yeah,
don't say that lightly.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to fight climate change, aren't we?
Yes, because as I sit here, it's the last day of July. No, got one more day, but it's the 30th of July, and it's going to be 97 degrees in Seattle, which is really hot, and it's our fifth or sixth 90-degree plus day in a row. And so,
you know, we had weather like that in Finland, as I already mentioned before we started recording.
Yeah,
in the beginning of summer for 3 weeks straight, and it's you never get weather like that in Finland or Scandinavia usually. But the fact that every once in a while I get 1 or 2 days, but the fact that it continues or drags on for 3 weeks, I don't remember it ever happening before. And I mean, and also the fact that people can't take it over here because nobody has air conditioning, and so you've got old people. We used to have these pantries that were air conditioned. They don't exist anymore because they use up all the electricity, and they've all these apartment complexes, they've taken them out, and now I think that they're just storage bays. But when I was a kid in Finland, we used to have these cold pantries. They were basically as cold as a fridge would be, and people would have storage areas with locked doors, and basically they were humongous fridges, like incredible. The size was incredible. People would take all the stuff there, and obviously the owner of the building or whoever was renting the apartments would pay through their nose to keep them cold. Yeah. And this was all year round. Can you imagine? All year round. And they existed for about 30 years. And then, I think about 10 years ago, they started getting rid of them. But they still exist in old buildings. And so I read this news that old people are going there, and it's like going into a fridge for, to cool off for about an hour. Yeah. And just to be able to go back out to their apartments and take the weather.
It's tough. So, when we look at and in the States right now, going on in Tennessee, there's a flash flood that has killed 26 or 27 people. And have you ever been to Vegas?
Actually, I have. Yeah.
There was a flash flood that went down the Strip in Vegas and went down in the front doors of casinos. And stuff because it rains so much there. Nobody's ever seen that before. So we're getting a lot of people that are saying, God, I never saw that before. I've lived here 60 years and never seen that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I was watching the show on TV. It's documentary. Now on the I get National Geographic, the channel,
Oh, sure.
and yeah, and I was watching a documentary about the European glaciers and how they're all disappearing. And not just that, there was a gal that they were interviewing on the show, and she said that she went there as a very young girl, uh, 20 years ago with her dad, and when they walked through those parts where the glaciers are, you had to have your winter clothes on, like your woolly cap and basically the warmest clothes you could muster, because it was even in the summer very cold. It'd be snowing a little bit, but now she was back there, and she was wearing shorts. And this is to me, it's weird, because I think that we are entering a period of consequences, as Al Gore predicted way back when he was talking about climate change.
The inconvenient truth.
Right, The Inconvenient Truth, which is a great show, by the way, and everybody should watch that.
Yep.
And there's actually a sequel to that's equally great. And so, but it's weird how when people don't want to see that something's happening, even if it's happening right under their noses, and it's clear as anything you can imagine, they'll refuse to see the truth, or the truth that they don't want to even be aware of, because to be able to fight this thing, it would mean a lot of changes for all of us,
and we don't handle change well.
No, and I mean it's hard work, isn't it? Even recycling right. If it's weird. If you want to, I have 6 kids, so there's 8 people in my family, and so you can imagine the amount of trash that we produce. Just making sure that everything gets recycled right. That's a big job in a household like this. And so it's okay to say that, yeah, I'm for climate change, but actually fighting it takes a lot of work.
Which brings us to the reason that why we're talking today, because of who you are, and you've written tons of songs. You've been published as a musician. You've had #1 hits. You've got a name, and you have joined in. Well, somebody came to you and said, "I want you to help me do what?"
Well, this was weird, because I was about a year ago, Michael Stover of MTS Records sent me a message and said that, look, I got this guy, and he's putting together an album, a charity album to help fight climate change. All the revenue is going to go to a foundation that he supports, which is the Born Free Foundation. But I didn't know anything about that charity at that point in time. And so I got this message, and I'm like, it sounds like something that I might be interested in. That I just had released an album, which was This Is My Happy Face. And it had a song that I had written, sort of. It was a protest song about how the trees are dying and stuff. And I thought that, great, because I have this song, Fly to the Moon. It's the name of the song. And so I said, give me the guy's email address, and I'll forward the song to him. That it'd be great if it could be on that charity album as well. And so that was that's how I got into touch with Phil Gardner, the owner of Minds Behind the Music record label. And so I sent him the song, and he emailed me back that this is a great tune, but I can't use it. I'm like, why not? Right? Because we're obviously in a hurry. And he's like, well, oh yeah, sorry. I thought that sometimes with the emails we type up and stuff gets deleted, and so it's like, yeah, sorry, it can't be released. Everything that I put on this album, it needs to be written for the album and for the label, and because all the proceeds are going to go to charity. And if somebody else has released it and it's already been monetized, then we can't use it for charity, which sure enough made sense. And this is like right before Christmas that I get this message, because I was a bit late, you see, emailing him. Mm-hmm. And I said that, oh wow, man, I just still have time, that I'd like to be part of this project, because I'm very green-minded, and I do think that it's a great cause, and we should fight for the planet. And he said that, awesome, that sort of felt we were like-minded, and he said that, yeah, put something together and I'll have a listen, and if it's as good as the other song, it'll be on the album. And so, of course, this is like I'm promoting the album that had just come out, and we'd actually been doing an interview back then, and there's all this promo work and everything going on. And as I've already told you, I'm sort of finishing my first novel, and I was writing that at that point, so I'm just swamped. And so I'm like, where do I find the energy to, write the song? And luckily, of course, my wife's very musical, and she's a bit of a poet, and so she helped me put it all together, which was great because then I could just focus on the record production. And so we kind of collaborated eyeball to eyeball on the song, and I started recording it. And the funny thing is that I was getting so close to the deadline. It was Christmas Eve, and the rest of the family was downstairs waiting for me to come to the dinner table, and I'm mixing Venetian Rubber Boots, which was the new song that I wrote for Phil's album. And it's like it just had to happen before Christmas because it had to be mixed. At least the demo mix had to be in before the end of the year. Not that Phil wouldn't have waited, but we didn't know each other at that point that well that I could just go ahead and ask that, I'm the last guy offering you music, that could you please just not have a New Year's celebration, but rather sit tight and wait for my tune. And so I felt like I had to finish it, which I did, and then it got finished, and I sent it to him, and he liked it very much. Said, okay, you're on the album, great. And that's how our collaboration really started. At that point, I didn't know any of the other musicians that were going to grace the record, but it was just, that was the start. That's how I got in contact with Phil Gardner, who's a beautiful guy and really fights for the right cause. And might I also add that if there ever was a label owner who is completely for the indie artists, understands them, supports them, it's Phil Gardner of Minds Behind That Music. Yeah.
That is an awesome story. And so he asked you to perform a song on the album, which, by the way, the album has just been released. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, and it's called Born Free. Just basically like the foundation that the proceeds are going to the Born Free Foundation.
And Born Free is they help with animals. They are a global warming advocate. They do a lot of work, and you can go to bornfree.org and you can find out more information about them. But you're doing also, because of the man that you are, you not only contributed a song, but now you're working to actively promote the album, and to really make a difference, and to do that. First of all, congratulations on being willing to do that. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's if there ever was the right cause and the right time to step up, and I think it's this one. And like I already mentioned, not really realizing all that would go into it, I volunteered. I'm happy I did. It's an honor to do it. But yeah, doing the PR work, and it's been harder than I thought, but that's good because it means that there's been a lot more interest out there for the album that I could have ever anticipated. Now, had it gone down the way I feared that it would, then we wouldn't be talking here, and quite a few of the other interviews that I have scheduled for me and the other artists next week and the weeks after, then wouldn't be happening. And so it's the fact that I'm swamped with this, and that it's turned out to be harder work than I thought. It's actually a wonderful thing, because it means that people are noticing, they're interested in what we're doing, and we get to fight for the planet, which is basically the nitty-gritty of all of this.
If we don't fight now, we may run out of time to fight.
That's right.
Everybody needs to work really hard, and so I'm all in. This is, the first time that we've talked about this really was today. You'd mentioned it kind of in the last time we talked, but I think that this is a great way. And by the way, this is the second album that is being released
That's right.
that does this. And so I didn't know about the first album either. So that's all fresh to a lot of people. Both albums are. So we can talk about album number 1 as well when we do some stuff, because I am gonna have Tommy on, and he's going to bring some friends and some co-collaborators that are on the album. And some of these guys, well, all these guys are just extremely talented, and their hearts are in the right place because they're donating their work to an album for charity. And so it's awesome. So we're gonna have a lot of these guys that are gonna come on in with Tommy and me, and that'll be so much fun. I enjoy talking to you anyway. So it'll be great fun for us to do that, and we're just gonna do that until he stops calling and doesn't want.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm really looking forward to this, and I think we're gonna have great episodes ahead of us.
Oh, I agree.
You know what? I think we're gonna smash it.
We are going to I'm going to do everything in my power to make it such as it is. I'm sitting in Seattle in my bedroom, but in any event, I'm going
to do right. And I blurred the background, so when I'm actually in one of the kids' rooms right now, there's an unmade bed behind me, and it's like this is the reality of today, isn't it?
It really is. But we are going to. We're going to take part in this, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to make it happen. And I hope that you're going to be part of it too, because if you hang around, we're going to put him on my website. We're going to put the album on the website. We're going to have music clips that we're going to play. We're going to be on all the social medias. We're going to do all of that stuff in support of the work that Tom is doing with Phil and the others, because their heart's in the right place, and it takes a lot of money to be able to make change. So I'm all in. So and thank you for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for hopping on. I mean, this is just fantastic. And in the meantime, before we have any episodes out, even if folks go and search for the album 2 or album 1, on iTunes and download even one song, even that helps.
Yeah. And please don't stream it. Make sure you download it. Because the artist makes nothing and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The artist makes nothing if you stream it, and if you download it, then you're giving money to charity. So do that. It's great to see you again, sir. I'm looking forward to working together with you this August and September and in the fall, and really making a name. And by the way, if you're listening to this at any given time and you are passionate about climate change and getting rid of and fighting it, and you want to invite somebody, give me a call or give me an email, and which is kevin@kmmedia.pro, and we'll have them on the show as well, because this is Tom, this is the big deal of our time.
It is. It really is. And as you already pointed out before, if we don't do something now, we might not get a chance to do anything. So we've talked about how weather's changing over in your neck of the woods and how it's changing over here. I think we're experiencing this whole year. There's floods in some parts of the world, and forest fires, just scorching temperatures in others. I think we're all becoming aware of the fact that the climate is changing, and I think the changes are becoming big enough for all of us to actually not just notice but realize that the time to do something is not tomorrow, it's right now.
And even if by talking about it we get people to understand a little bit more about it, that's a good thing, because and we talked about this before the show, there are still people, I think there are fewer of them, but there are still people that are climate deniers that say no.
Yeah, they're skeptical about the fact, and then there's obviously all sorts of other theories how temperatures have gone up and down, but they don't show the full scale of the actual, like we already said, we already established before, people should watch that Al Gore documentary, and both of them, and just really that'll show you what it's really all about. And what you mentioned before, Kevin, when we were talking before the show, the fact that while our parents might have said that to us, that people didn't cause this. It's kind of weird how, if you look at when it's all started to change, when climate really started to change, it's during the past 120 years when the industrialization happened. And I think, that's no coincidence. It's just the fact that little by little, and we're just destroying more every year as the industries grow. And of course, in the developing world, when they're becoming, or just developed, and they have their own factories and their industries are booming, we're only adding to the fact that the climate's going to take even a bigger hit.
Absolutely, because now you've got, the more people that there are people that are burning down parts of the rainforest so that they can plant crops. And so they're thinking, well, I'm just going to do this one little acre, and I'm just going to burn this one little, and then I can plant crops to feed my family. It's a perfectly positive thing to want to be able to do. However, when you have 1 million people burning an acre a month or whatever, we're going to run out of acres if we're not careful. And then that's where we get the oxygen from the trees that take in carbon dioxide. So that's another way that we're going to kill ourselves. So we've got
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird if you look at all the things we're doing and things that we're doing wrong, and everybody we all know, we're aware. But I think John Lennon once said about wars and climate change, that when you're having a party, which is what we're having, especially in the Western world, it's a great party. We've got cable TV, got cars, airplanes, everything. Just really, it's happening for us, and I get that. I feel that way too. And when try leaving a party when it's at its best. I mean, you've ever been to those parties where just it's 1 a.m. and you've waited all day long, and finally people are starting to take off their clothes, and then somebody says, "Look, you've got to go home." And I'm like, no, this is not the time. And I think, comparing a very serious thing now to something that isn't comparable. But when people are having fun, they don't want to change anything. And I think,
yeah. And there's money involved with the oil companies, and I mean, we're talking big money, and they're not going to change until they're absolutely forced to. But we can educate people, and we can help people understand that they made some real big changes, and I think the idea of doing it through music is a beautiful concept. It really is, because music can touch everybody.
True.
So I'm looking forward to doing this. This is Tommy Tikka, by the way. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, Tom, how do they do it?
The best way to find out about me, my comings and goings, and check out the music, is to go to my website, which is www.tomtikka.com.
www.tomtikka.com.
Tomtikka.com. Tikka, like the Indian curry paste. I actually once went into an Indian restaurant, and I said that I'm the tikka god. I invented this food, That was a long time ago. I cracked that. Those guys were laughing so hard when they saw my credit card when I handed it over to pay for the meal. I was like, my God, you are tikka. The spice god. Right?
Apparently, I haven't been to one of those restaurants in a while, so I have no idea what that is. But that's all right. But in any event,
it's a curry paste. It's a curry paste. Tikka curry paste.
Is it hot?
So it's pretty hot. But you can choose the. If you ever go to an Indian restaurant, you order chicken tikka.
Gotcha.
But it really has nothing to do with the fact that's a Finnish word for woodpecker. But it just happens to be in that's the name for the spice as well.
That's so much useless information. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, exactly. You gotta know these.
And I'd like to thank Tom for being here. He is in Finland. I am in Seattle, so there's like a 10-hour time difference. So and he's got a sick kid, so I'm gonna let him go take care of his kid, and it's a great fun for you to be here. We're gonna have you on KKNW. We're gonna have you on the podcast. I really want to make a big deal out of this and really promote the hell out of it so that we can actually get something positive done, and I think we can.
I think so too. And thanks, Kevin, for doing this. And I'm really looking forward to all of this.
I have actually been looking for somebody that I could stand behind and to do really something positive for the planet. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. I want her to grow up healthy and happy in a world that is safe for her to be in, and stuff. So I just love it, and I thank you so much for being here. Tom Tikka, go to his website, find out more about him, and in the future we're gonna bring in lots of different musicians and songwriters and writers and singers and stuff, because I think everybody, when they hear about this, Tom, I think everybody wants to get involved. That's what you're finding out, isn't it?
That's what I'm finding out, and hopefully it'll continue.
It will.
Because like you mentioned before, if there's ever a cause to fight for, I think it's this one, because this touches everybody on the planet.
You can't escape it unless you go into outer space and figure out how to breathe without oxygen. Or we're all in the same boat, and and we can do this, and we all have to recognize that we're all one. There's soon about to be 8 billion people on the planet.
Wow. Yeah, ain't that something?
That's crazy. And so if somebody's making more babies all the time, but it's important that we take care of ourselves so that we can all be here, or there's going to be hell to pay. So, Tom Tikka, we're going to do this and we're going to start really soon. So be looking for these episodes. Anything with Tom's name on it will be climate change related at this point. And we're going to play music. We're going to play the song that's on the album, and with the permission of Phil, maybe some of the other songs as well, so you get a flavor of what's on the album. And we're going to put it on the website. And so go to positivetalkradio.net. Not today, because I haven't done it yet, but when I do it, and then go there and have fun. Tom, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, just, nothing else except that if you want to contribute, download the albums. And the new one's called Born Free. If you go to iTunes and you type in Minds Behind the Music and then Born Free, the album will pop up. And even if you download only one song, you've contributed. So that's great. That'll help. Every little thing's going to help. And
you get some powerfully good music at the same time.
This is true.
So it's a win-win. So that's really cool. And can we get Phil on here, do you think, at one point?
We can ask. I haven't. I'll talk to him. We'll see.
Okay, that's all you can do. And I'll stalk him.
Right.
Tom Tikka, thank you so much. You have a great day and a great night. It's time for you to just about wrap it up and go to bed. So thank you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon.
I'll talk to you, Kevin. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of PositiveTalkRadio.net. Please visit our website, oddly named PositiveTalkRadio.net, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team, remember, be kind to one another, because each other's all we got.